Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakah, Qadash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth, and as well as giving the salutations thereof towards the Akim, is also forwarding this truth as well throughout the four winds of the earth. And shalom to the Akim, Makwaf Yam, too. And once again, it's your brother Laban coming at you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be going over this whole idea of hellfires, which is a originally Christian doctrine, and where this comes from. It comes from the Greek myths that was basically brought towards the people at the time, during the time of the Greeks, to believe in a doctrine that just came out of someone's idea and turn it into a truth. But as it's always been, it's just only but been an idea and a lie at that. And we're going to prove that it's a lie because, when you look up the word hell in the New Testament, as you're going to get, the word is Hades. And Hades is an actual god of the underworld. All right. And you have another god, which is of the underworld, which is Pluto. Okay, then this is where you get the term plutocracy from, which means the rule of the rich. And then you also have another god, which is Orcus, which is another god of the underworld, have you will. Right? So these are all myths, basically. This doctrine of hell, the hellfires, is nothing more than a mythological one at that. It doesn't exist in reality. All right. And the reason why the Christians believe in this stuff, because going all the way back to the founding fathers of that religion, we talk about those that were within the Council of Nicaea. As I've said some time ago, that Christianity is nothing more than a spinoff what was originally taught concerning what was taught in the New Testament. That's all it is. It's just a rip-off version of what was taught in the New Testament. And that's Christianity in a nutshell. All right. And when you go deep into Christianity, you'll find out there's Babylonian doctrines and as well as Greek doctrines in there too. And this is one of them. The whole idea of burning in hell forever and ever. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to look up the word hell in the, the English. Hell, which is Old English of Germanic origin related to Dutch. Hell in German, Holly, from an Indo-European root meaning to cover or hide. All right, and when you look up the word hell in the etymology as well, it actually tells you that it's referring to a concealed place, basically a cave. And when you think about a cave, what do you originally visualize? You visualize a place that is dark underneath the earth. And that's what it's all about. That's what it is. It's just nothing more than a place under the planet. Literally, like there's no reality. There's nothing in this realm, this physical realm that projects that as the truth, that there's a place under the earth where you're going to burn in hellfires forever. That's originally Greek myth. Okay, so now let's go and get the book of Matthew 3, and let's just go and do this, man. Do the Holy Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, and breaking the scriptures down with a greater understanding. So now this reads Matthew 3 and verse 12, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner. That represents the elect. They're going to be gathered, right, and delivered. But he will burn up the chaff with the unquenchable fire. And the chaff represents those that don't believe in Yahushua. All right, they don't believe in this knowledge and this understanding. So, as it reads, that he's going to burn them up with the unquenchable fire. As it is written in the book of Luke 12, that as it reads, I've come to send fire on the earth, And what will I if it already be kindled? So it's going to be Yahweh Shai that's going to be sending that unquenchable fire. Okay? It's not going to be some guy with a red pitchfork and he's going to be sending fire out of his gun. No, that's not what's happening in the scriptures. That's not what this is saying at all. All right? So when you really think about the unquenchable fire, it's talking about the destruction, that the nuclear destruction at that which is forth to come. And, basically people are going to be consumed thereon. And they're going to be basically burning for a prolonged amount of time. That's what that's talking about. And let's read some more scriptures on that. Let's go and get, actually, let me read this too. And this is in the book of, I believe it's Mark 9 and 48, where Yahweh Shai mentions about the hell. And hell was an actual place in Jerusalem, which was called Gehenna, or Gehenna, right? So now I understand what Ghana means now. Oh shit, okay. Excuse my language there. It just came out of nowhere. So now let's go into the Hebrew word. So now can we go back? Just bear me for 1 minute. I'm gonna fast forward it anyway. So yeah, so the word is originally in the Hebrews. I believe it's supposed to be pronounced Gehenna, something to that equivalent, not Ghana. So I was wrong with that. It's Gehenna. At least that's what I'm viewing it as in my own mind right now. But it's referring to a place which was originally the Valley of Hinnom, on the south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. Exactly, it's symbolic. So the hell that which is coming, that Yahweh Shai is going to bring, he's going to bring through the souls of men, as it is written that the Lord's ways are through men, right? In the book of Proverbs 20 and 24, man's goings of the Lord, and how can a man then understand his own ways? Something to that equivalent. All right, so the Lord is going to be the one bringing the hell here on this earth, which is also known as the place of judgment. So let's pull that out. Because men are judged here on this earth. A place of judgment. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to have to do a lot of fast forwarding, man. This computer's moving quite slow. I'm going to have to check why that's the case. Place of judgment. It's locked in. Let me just do this. I'm being lazy. Let me see. Yeah, I could read this, but I also want to read. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, this is the one right here. Ecclesiasticus 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So what is the place under the sun? the earth. Okay? In hell, you can't see the sun in hell. In other words, a dark underworld, you're not going to see the sun. You're going to only but see the sun if you're on the earth. All right? So it's the earth. That's where you're judged. Okay? And it explains how that is the case. Because when you die, what happens is, as it reads in verse 20, all go into one place, and all out of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who know of the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth. So the scriptures is telling you and showing you the operation of death, what happens. All right? So there's no such thing as you dying and your spirit is going under the earth because you've done some kind of wickedness. At least I'm in just one chapter. Okay? Now there's other chapters I can bring. I can basically furthermore solidify, my point on this regard of the hell doctrine that, Christians have been taught to believe, as well as we all once did at one time or another in the world when we was in the state of darkness. But the scriptures don't speak about that. The scriptures speak about how when you die, you return to the spiritual realm, and then you return back to the earth again. And on the earth, you are judged. So I'm going to read that again. So now let's read this. And more of our soul under the sun, the place of judgment, that which is the earth, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. All right. So it is known as the place of judgment, and as well as the place of righteousness, which is the planet Earth. So let's just say you transgress the laws of the Heavenly Father. Or let's just keep it even more simple. Let's just say that you was wicked in your past life. You're going to come back in the next lifetime probably. And guess what? You're going to have to serve your judgment. That's how the Lord judges you. Now you do something in one lifetime and get away from the wickedness that you've done. But when you come back as a newborn baby, you're going to come back serving a particular kind of judgment. All right. And that's why you have people that are born in diverse predicaments, whether it's in the body that they're born into, whether it's in the estate or the conditions that they're born into. And there they suffer. And all of that is happening here on earth. And that's why so many of us are suffering because of our sins in our past life. So that's how the Lord judges you. There's no such thing as a place where you burn forever and ever. Okay? Ecclesiastes 3:16 all the way down to also 18 explains to you and shows you how death operates. Now let's read something else. Job 3. And let's hear what Job was saying. Because Job was in his state of, depression. And, he expressed in this particular chapter that he wanted to die rather than being born. All right. So now let's begin by reading verse 16. Or as an hidden untimely birth I had not been, as an infant which never saw light. And there, let me go back up so I can read this correctly. Let's start with verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? And why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me? Or why did the breast that I should suck? For now I should have lain still and being quiet. I should have slept, then I had been at rest. In other words, he wished he was dead before he was even born. So this is what he says, right? With kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been as infants which never saw light. And there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. Okay? And there the prisoners rest together, and they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master, and wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul. Okay, so he's talking about a place after you die, and that is the spiritual realm. So he mentioned that even the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. Okay, so there's no such thing as a place that you're going to burn in hellfires because of your wicked deeds. As I just read to you in the book of Ecclesiastes 3, that all go into one place. Here we have it. All go into one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to the dust again. Now let's furthermore go into this. Let's go get Ecclesiasticus 12. Once again, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. And these are two great men that spoke about death and how it operates. We're talking about Job and as well as Solomon. So if anything, we should take heed of what they're saying, rather than going with what some other nation has said about an idea that doesn't even exist in this physical realm. Okay, the idea of you being evil and wicked on earth, and therefore when you die, you're going to burn in hellfires, which all of that goes back to Greek mythology, referring to those Greek gods. You have the god of Hades. You have Hades, you have Pluto, and Orcus. These are all gods that came from the Greeks, which originally goes back to, the previous pagans, which were the Babylonians, and as well as, in some cases, the Egyptians too. Okay, that's where all of this nonsense comes from. It's not biblical. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to look into, right, so now let's look up this right here, Orcus. Because what I did was I read this, right? Orcus, the netherworld, the realm of the dead. So now let's go into this right here. Orcus was a god of the underworld, punisher of broken oaths in the Etruscans and Roman mythology. So the Etruscans came up with this, which the Etruscans are nothing more than the people which descend from a man by the name of Japhet. And they're dwelling in Australia. They're dwelling in places like the South Pacific Ocean. Those are the real Etruscans. So they came up with that doctrine, and then Esau adopted that doctrine, and then it just became something that everyone had to believe in. Or should I say differently, it became popular belief. So now let's read this again. Was a god of the underworld, Orcus, punisher of broken oaths in Etruscan and Roman mythology. As with Hades, the name of God was also used for the underworld itself. And that's why we don't use the term God. We use the term Most High. Okay. Eventually, he was conflated with Dispater and Pluto. A temple to Orcus may one have existed on the Palatine Hill in Rome. It is likely that he was transliterated from the Greek demon Orcus, the personification of oaths and of the son of Eris. So just keeping it very simple and plain to the point that it's myth. It's nothing more than just a myth. The idea of burning in hell forever and ever is a Greek myth. It came from the Greeks. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read right there. So the unquenchable fire is talking about the fire that he's going to bring through those nuclear missiles, and as well as the fire that he's coming with to destroy America. And as it is written, that the smoke of her burning shall be long enduring. I'm roughly paraphrasing. All right. So that's what that is. So I think what I've done is I've pretty much got into the point. I don't really have to elaborate any further. So that's pretty much it right there. So with that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah Bashmi Rakah Quadash. With that, I close. Shalom.